as we approach the end of the official first week. And wouldn't you know that every 40-year-old out there is feeling like going outside and running on the pitch this morning because they watched Leo Messi yesterday at 38 years old post 3 goals for Argentina over Algeria in Kansas City. He tied Miroslav Klose's all-time record of 16 World Cup goals in the process. Messi right now absolutely on fire, Joe.
Ridiculous. And listen, we being in South Florida, Craig, listen, we've learned to understand what Messi is all about and just how ridiculously good he is. Listen, the idea of him scoring in a World Cup is not it's not foreign to anybody. We all expect it, but to get the hat trick last night, and by the way, in every city, New York, in the Midwest, I mean, you had those two sets of fans battling every chance they got here. And Messi, well, he put an end to that in a hurry in that game last night.
Kylian Mbappé stole the show in France's 3-1 win over Senegal on Tuesday. He had a 30-yard strike in stoppage time, maybe the goal of the tournament thus far, as France, who were outshot 5-1 in the first half, dominated in the second half. And, of course, that was the story of that match. Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather is in the news, and not for fighting. He's been hit with 2 felony charges, theft over $100,000 and a check fraud. And then he wrote a $200,000 bad check to a high-end Las Vegas boutique. What is going on here, Joe? Why is Floyd Mayweather in the news for the wrong reasons again?
Well, because Floyd Mayweather is the same guy that used to walk around the strip in Vegas with, like $2 million in a briefcase and a bodyguard. Because you never know when he'd come across a Lamborghini he'd want to buy or something else along those lines. The problem is once he stopped boxing and people stopped paying attention to a guy that, couldn't get hit and never knocked anybody out, and this is what you get. Kind of went through that money a little quick, didn't he there, Craig?
Big surprise in the National Hockey League. John Tortorella is not coming back as Vegas's head coach. So they'll be looking for a new one after the Golden Knights and he decided to part ways. He went 21-8-1 with the team, including the playoffs. So a big surprise here. And Tortorella's managed and coached so many different teams. He's going to head to another team. Meanwhile, the FBI has disrupted an alleged plot to attack UFC America 250 at the White House on Sunday, with at least 5 people in custody after uncovering a plan to use explosives. Wow. Good thing they stopped these people in their tracks. The U.S. Open officially begins tomorrow. Joe, Brooks Koepka wants to play in this week's U.S. Open, but how can he do it with these nerve issues that he's having? Not somebody that's going to be on my board this week.
It's unfortunate. I had him last week, and he was tied for the first round lead, Craig, there at the RBC, and then, of course, had to withdraw with the issues going on there. He's in our neck of the woods, and I've been rooting for him, man. And this is a tournament I had circled for him that I thought he would be ready for, but I don't know. I'm kind of with you here. Tough to look at him now at this week.
Yeah, when you hear thoracic outlet surgery, not somebody that,
yep.
I mean, it's very unfortunate, as you said, but not somebody you could back financially. Meanwhile, it will be fun at the very least to see Venus and Serena Williams. We don't know what the results will be, but Joe, they're going to participate in doubles at Wimbledon.
I'm looking forward to it, believe it or not. I might actually watch a tennis match, although I promise you it'll be the most watched, Craig. I promise you that.
Hour number 2, welcome back to the early line here on SportsGrid. I'm Craig Mish, along with Joe Raineri, as we have you covered here for the next hour. And a lot of World Cup discussion. We've got matches set to go off later today. We'll discuss those and have a preview as well. But for now, let's get back to everything that you may have missed overnight, which would include, Joe, an all-time performance yet again from Leo Messi, from playing here in South Florida to playing back in his home country for Argentina. He posted 3 goals yesterday against Algeria, and that is one of the best individual performances of all time. It's a hat trick. 38 years old. He just keeps on rolling, and it was his 200th appearance for Argentina on the 20th anniversary of his World Cup debut. I think the one big takeaway from yesterday, Joe, is that we've learned that in 4 years from now, we're going to see Messi in this thing again. And there was some question about that. It's not a question now.
It's not. And if you watch those goals yesterday, for a dude that is 38 years old, that everyone was like, yeah, I mean, he's going to be there. He's going to anchor some things, but some of the set piece, you got to be careful. He had two long-range absolute missiles for goals yesterday, and then he was set up on a beautiful one to begin with. But, I mean, that's like 2006 Messi, what we just watched. Now, can he keep it up? I wouldn't bet against him, Craig. I mean, that's the bottom line to me, is throw the age out the window. You can either play or you can't play, and he continues to show us, even at 38, Father Time's going to have to take a back seat.
Joe mentioned a long-range missile. That was the story in stoppage time yesterday for Kylian Mbappe. He had a 30-yard strike in stoppage time, and France ended up beating Senegal by a final of 3-1. It was a very dominant performance from the offense, and now Mbappe, Joe, has 14 World Cup goals. France is one of those countries we're going to keep a close eye on as the World Cup rolls on.
Very high. And again, if you look at some of the favorites, right, we saw Spain go, what in the world is happening here with a 0-0 opening round game, right, against Cape Verde. And then we watched France yesterday, and we're going, oh, yes, this is exactly the France team that we thought we were going to get. So, yeah, they looked apart. Spain, not so much. We'll see what England brings to the table, but yeah, they looked very dangerous and worthy of, one of the favorite prices of the top 3 or 4 teams.
Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather's in the news again, Joe, for writing bad checks. $100,000 check fraud, $200,000 bad check to a Las Vegas boutique. I mean, Mayweather makes this in a single fight, for like 5 seconds, because he makes millions and millions of dollars a fight. I don't even know how this can happen for a guy of this magnitude.
Oh, I do. Again, when you're walking around, A, you live in Vegas. B, the stories of him, legendary, walking around with just suitcases filled with, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, just walking in the car deal, whatever he wanted at the particular time. He did this for years, absolute years. But the problem is he's not fighting anymore, and he hasn't for a long time. So you know what? Boy, that money dried up in a hurry. And this is exactly what you get. Now he's writing big checks. Unbelievable. Story as old as time.
He is scheduled to fight Manny Pacquiao again, if I'm not mistaken, later this year, which is like the anniversary of the time they fought like 10 years ago.
Unreal.
But I guess that's the reason why. John Tortorella, what a bizarre story here. He was asked to take over the Vegas Golden Knights with a couple of weeks to go in the months ago in the season. He went 21-8-1. And now is parting ways with Vegas. They did not win the championship, Joe, and so he got them there, but I guess he's out. Tortorella has managed or coached in so many different places. It's been hard to keep up, but it seems like he wins wherever he goes, and if he wants to continue to coach a team, I guess he'll be able to.
I don't know what's going on here, because, A, Cassidy is still under contract for Vegas. So Cassidy can't even take a job someplace else. So, Tortorella comes in for the final week of the regular season and through the playoffs, falls 2 games, 2 wins short of a title, and now he's out the door. So I don't know what Vegas is doing, but they're basically paying 2 coaches now and don't have 1. Very strange situation.
The FBI has disrupted a plot to attack UFC America 250. For those unfamiliar, UFC 250 is at the White House this Sunday night. 5 people are in custody after they uncovered a plan to run some explosives. Did they cancel this event, Joe? They canceled the event?
It already happened. It already happened on Sunday.
Oh, it was Sunday night. Okay, shows you what I know.
Yeah. But apparently we found out after the event went off that that the FBI had swooped in just prior to the event started. Yeah, they broke this up here. They were planning on using drones, and the story is crazy, but it was never going to happen because the FBI knew what was going on the entire time.
All right, well said. Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, and for Brooks Koepka, not sure how that's going to go because he intends to play in the U.S. Open, but he's got some back, neck, and nerve issues. In fact, he withdrew from the Canadian Open. And, Joe, this was a really interesting story because he defected from LIV Golf back to the PGA Tour after defecting the PGA for LIV Golf. And Koepka was one of those names that I think a lot of folks are rooting for, but hard to see a lot of success coming this week.
I had him last week, in fact, too, and then he had the lead after the first round, 6 under par, and then had to withdraw. And it's unfortunate because this is a guy. He's got a few U.S. Open championships. He's got 5 majors. You know, he has been trending in the right direction all season long. This was the event and the major that I had him circling. I had it circled, waiting for him to take another U.S. Open title at Shinnecock. But it's very hard at this point. A lot of other things going on health-wise with him, and it's truly unfortunate.
Wimbledon will give you at least 2 reasons to watch Serena and Venus Williams. They're back June 29th at Wimbledon participating in the doubles event. Serena is 44 years old. Venus is 46 years old, Joe. So I don't know how this is going to go. But if I know anything about the way that these women have played in the past, expect the unexpected. I think they could do well.
Listen, we all thought at this point that, you know, pickleball would be in their future, but now they're heading to Wimbledon to try and take down a doubles title. And you know what? Wouldn't bet against them. And I can promise you this, Greg, it will be the most watched doubles final that we have ever seen at Wimbledon. Now that you got a couple of big names, yes, people will watch.
You know what's funny about stories like these, Joe, is that we all love nostalgia. I think that we've established that.
Yep.
Like, people love to take themselves back in time, maybe where they feel always back in time was a better time. But what people love more in sports are the older folks who succeed because it makes them feel, and I'm sure it makes you feel and me feel after 50 years old, hey, if they can do something that's unprecedented, maybe I can do something that's unprecedented. Now, listen, I'm not saying that Serena and Venus Williams, Joe, are going to win the doubles title at Wimbledon, but I think generally people who watch sports root for this sort of success, to see older players do well, because it reminds us of maybe when we thought that we had some athletic ability. And I know you did, Joe. I know you had a lot of baseball ability.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Greg, nothing warms my heart, though. I don't care how old, is watching pros lip out on 2-foot putts. I get more enjoyment out of that, I don't care how old they are, than anything else. Because even if the pros look silly doing it, I feel much better about my golf game after that.
Golf is that one game that we can still play into our 40s, 50s, 60s, 60s, and beyond. 60s? Am I really going to be there in less than 10 years? Gosh, that's harsh.